to another edition of We-On-Loc, the We-On-Loc Nation channel, excuse me. It's cold as hell outside. And we're going to continue to the promotion to promote Jasmine Crockett, hopefully in this lifetime, because Jesus, what's going on, and I'll fill you in the details about your president, not mine, Trump, later on his so-called alleged condition. I'm gonna fill you in a little later. But first and foremost, need your help. I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna need your help expeditiously to get me to a certain point as it becomes the subscribers. I definitely appreciate you. I appreciate you all for getting me to 3,000, which we're gonna celebrate. But in order for me to get real traction on this thing, and it's not just for me, it's for everybody who is included to, help get this woman where she should be. Now, I'm not saying that she's going to actually do it. I'm not saying that she's going to actually apply, want to become president. I'm not saying that. I'll keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it. If she wants to become a senator, she's very welcome to become a senator. If she wants to become mayor, she can very well become mayor. But I mean, her concentration is Congress right now. But we have 3 years, 3 years of this bum in office, and I just think she is the right candidate. Now, I think a couple of days ago, I was playing something, and I want to play it for you, not at the actual point that I actually played it, but realize something. Jasmine, well, let me start off with this. The United States of America is in trouble. We all know that. I think it's day 15, and they still have not made a decision to reopen the government, and it's going to hurt a lot of people. Now, you're probably asking, well, Loc, you don't even have a government job. You're right, I don't. But it damn near affects me everywhere else, right? And again, I truly see what's going on, but I'm not naive to stuff. Let's not pretend that Jasmine later on, maybe in the future, might want to turn that corner, if you know what I mean. Can't trust anybody. But I thought to myself, well, in this day and age, who can you trust? And when she started speaking, I said to myself, I said, what was the last congresswoman, man? When was the last president? When was the last legislator, senator that ever mentioned about white supremacy? She would be the only one. And if anybody else spoke up about white supremacy, please tell me. Put it in the comment section. But as I stated, the United States is in turmoil, and these conservatives do not want to take things seriously. They only want to stop the war on crime. Well, it's just more than just the war on crime. You're actually putting money into the military. That's a good thing, but also you're giving a lot of money away to these rich billionaires simply because you don't want to vote. You don't want to vote a woman in office, which I already knew it wasn't going to happen anyway because of how stubborn men are. See what I mean? But people are feeling it. And some of these farmers, these white farmers, are definitely feeling it. The ones that said that Trump was everything but sliced bread, and he's getting a chunk of their land. He's getting a chunk of their land. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel, as a matter of fact, I don't feel sorry for anyone who voted for this person, because I told you he wasn't gonna give you money. Reparations, forget it. Reparations, forget it. He wasn't gonna give you no freaking reparations. He gave you an actual packet which he had stolen from Ice Cube, and he slapped it on the table and said, "What else do you have to lose, my Black African American friends?" So, without further ado, we're going to get into it. And like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. If this is so, which it is, President DJT. So if I was doing this interview with you on YouTube, I would normally just ask for your reaction to that rambling screed that he graced us with at 3:38 in the morning.
I think if the president has an issue with it,
two avenues that folks can take, and on one hand, I think both are important in the sense that there is mocking him when he's owed mockery, but also fearing the things that happen at the hands of a very weaponized, very dangerous government. And so how do you reconcile those two things, which seem in conflict with each other? And there's lots of people that say, don't give him the power that he's so desperate, that he craves so desperately by taking everything he says seriously. And then at the same time, there's the opposite point of view. So how do you think about that?
Okay, so if you are living in Trump's America, you know not to believe that he's not a threat. So I think we need to take everything seriously. At the same time, I am good for mocking him. So the mock list he is. In a time in which he and his regime want to pretend as if I'm low IQ and other Black women and other members of the LGBTQIA community, and actually everybody who's not old, white, male, and straight and rich, he wants to other us, right? And so I do think it is important for us to take those moments.
First and foremost, she looks great in black. Now, kind of pray tell for me to say this, but he's been mocked. He's been mocked for a very, 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 very long time. He's been sued a lot. We all know Trump's IQ. We all know Trump's iota. He's spoiled. He's a spoiled rich kid. A spoiled rich kid whose daddy, both of them prejudiced, by the way. Both of them some prejudiced human beings. But again, he's the president of the United States. Why? Because the people who put him in there saw that this country was not getting its just deserved by their standards. And so what do? They make this man even more richer by trumping up these fake illusions as if the United States, and oh, by the way, he's declaring war on the United States. He's trumping up these fake illusions as if the world was being attacked by these insurgents or whatever he calls them. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Are you that senile? Are you that? I mean, yeah, he is 80 some years old. But the the overpower is surreal. And this is the reason why we have to wake up and we got to get on the phones and we got to get to the internet and go on to Jasmine Crockett's website and just start complaining and complain and complain and complain and see if we can get this woman, this ever so gorgeous, intelligent black woman, yes, I said it, black woman, in office if she wants to. This is just this is like a suggestion. It's like, hey, big sis, this is just a suggestion for you to think about and consider. Because again, I'll say this as many times as I can. Why run for Texas when you can run the whole regime? You can run the United States as well as your responsibility overseas. You can do whatever it is you want and turn this whole thing around. Now, would a thing like this corrupt a person? Possibly, maybe. We just got to start rolling the dice, and hopefully we hit all 7-11s. We don't want to hit snake eyes.
To really point out how insane and ridiculous he is. So, like, talking about January 6th, because clearly the dementia, honey, is sitting in. And he doesn't realize that he was the president on January 6th. We do. Lord knows we do.
And another thing, rumor, a little birdie told me that he's sick. Last night when I was on, I think I was on TikTok. No, I wasn't on TikTok. I was on IG, but she was broadcasting everywhere. Jasmine Crockett was just broadcasting everywhere, right? And I'm looking through the comment section, and I'm commenting myself, and I look and say, he can't move. He can't move his hand right. He got his little booster shot, and he can't move his freaking hand right. I'm like, he's sick? Is the man sick? But this is alleged. This is alleged. We don't know enough. We don't know enough, and they're not going to put that out in the atmosphere. You gotta help, Jad. Oh, we must have a Republican. We must have a Republican in in the chat. We must have a Republican in the chat. Well, hey. I mean it. Wait, scrubbing shitty choke. Okay. You must mistake this channel for Umar channel. We're not doing Umar. Well, at least not today. Don't worry, I will get to you another day. Trust me, I will get to your bitch asses in another day. But for right now, I gotta put you on timeout because I'm not going for this shit. So anyway, he's sick. He is freaking sick, and I don't wish death upon anybody, including my enemies, but the struggle is real for this guy. And we, as Jasmine supporters, hell, even as Cory Bookham supporters, even as Hakeem Jeffries supporters, we must do everything that we can for them, because we are the voice of the people. We are the voice of the people, and if there were millions of us, and I do mean millions because millions makes noise. Thousands, that's just like an appetizer, right? It's just like an appetizer. But if we had millions and millions and millions shouting to Washington and saying enough is enough, and then shouting to the people that we must appoint this woman or any other person that can do right by us and to get things not to normal, because after this, nothing's going to be normal anymore unless prices go down, unless, tax it, it's a lot of shit to go in it. So we need to be the voice, and we are the voice. And I would like to be that voice as well. Oops, wrong one.
Because we were kicking him out at that time. But I do think that it is important that we also talk about the real threats to our democracy and those cracks that we see in our foundation, those cracks that are leading to the indictment of Tish James out of New York, those cracks that are leading to the indictment of James Comey, those cracks that have allowed for probably the best of our DOJ to decide that they just couldn't do it because they had some form of ethics behind them and they just decided to resign. That crack that unfortunately has probably some of our best FBI agents deciding to abdicate their post, or that crack that anybody who has any decency within the DHS organization, specifically ICE, has allowed them to say, I need to go and do something else. So we need to make sure that we understand that these threats are real, but at the same time, we cannot allow them to scare us. When he went after free speech, and he's still going after it, and he's been getting after it, I've been trying to tell people that we did not pay enough attention to him when there was a football player by the name of Colin Kaepernick, and they wanted to shut him up. And this wasn't really about whether or not you agreed with what he did, but it was supposed to be protected constitutional speech, what he decided to do. We really break on that, but Trump, and we're talking in the NFL, and then you fast forward it to Trump being back in office. He's decided to go after our newspapers. He's to go after the news outlets. He's shaking them down for money. They're just giving him, for the first time, he's for real rich. Shaking people down. And as my senator, who I usually don't like to claim, from the state of Texas, decided to say that.
Before we go further, Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, basketball Dallas Mavericks, has uttered has said a lot of things about Trump that, of course, they somewhat know each other, because all of them, all these trick bags make money, including him. So, but he also describes it as if Trump is the biggest thief in the face of this planet, and by selling you a wet dream or selling you a bad product in exchange for, profit, and getting him money on top of money on top of money, because that's all this dude wants. And it's kind of funny because you you can have all the money in the world, but you can't take it with you when you go. But I'm sure his two sons are enjoying this right now, and I hope to gosh that they get caught by the FBI. I hope when all this is said and done that the Trump family, including his Russian babe, which outdated her visa, I hope they get caught up by the FBI. Let's continue.
They're acting like mobsters. And we have to be willing to call that out. When you decide to be silent, when you decide to say, I'm just going to keep my head down, we've only got about, I don't want to count the days, but a little more than 3 years. This guy doesn't plan on leaving. As the government is shut down, he's still building this bootleg, party room, as I like to call it, in the White House that nobody asked for. That's the only thing that's not shut down. The house is shut down. We're not going back in. We're not doing any work for the American people. And his ballroom is still being constructed. Now, who would construct a ballroom that's going to take, I don't know how long, that's going to take, I don't know how many dollars, if they plan on leaving in 3 years? He's not planning on leaving. It's not a joke when he puts a Trump 2028 hat on the desk in the Oval as he's supposed to be having a real meeting with the leadership within the House and the Senate about how we are going to work for the American people. We should all be very concerned, and your concerns should lead you to engage in conversations. Conversations not just with your friends, but also those people that don't see the world the same way as you do. Because unfortunately, we are all in the same sinking ship right now. And it is time for us to make sure.
Well, my understanding is, or the one thing I don't understand, first and foremost, is why wouldn't you want a woman like in this caliber to become president of the United States? Forget what AOC is talking about. I'm talking about a woman of this caliber. Good looking woman, don't take shit from nobody. But more importantly, she's one of the best defense lawyers, in my opinion. So, do the crime, you got to do the time, right? But if you're in some type of trouble, of course you will look to a woman to bail you out. But there are those men, unfortunately, on the internet and everywhere else that think that women are inferior. So I would hate to tell you that this is going to be a real long, tough ride, especially when you have a cracker in office who just wants to put other crackers in charge. And that's one of the reasons why he's looking for other seats to corrupt, which is going to be bad for us.
Divided us in this last election. We've got to come together and recognize that if we stand together, we will always do so much more than we can as we're divided.
Prepared because nobody's really acknowledging the reality of the situation. In large part, you've got the left that is united against this idea. I think that you will need folks within his orbit, within his administration, on the broader right, that are going to have to be opposed to this so that they don't have as easy as a glide path as they think they'll have in making sure that this happens. And look, a lot of the people who served as a bulwark to Trump's worst successes in the first administration, they're gone. Like Bill Barr, not exactly some crunchy liberal, right? Like this guy's not marching along.
Look at the face. Look at the face. Hold on. I gotta look at it.
They're gone. Like Bill Barr, not exactly some crunchy liberal, right? Like this.
Look at this face. Bill Maher. I don't know if he said Bill Maher or Bill Barr. Yeah, he did say Bill Maher. You know the one, honky cracker. I don't know what Ice Cube said, but one honky motherfucker who just, was just mocking Jazz. It's like, nobody likes black women. I'm just gonna flat out say it. Not even black men like black women. That's crazy. You niggas have done lost your damn mind. Like, you just want to rule over what you gonna have. What do you have to rule with? You know what? I'm ranting. I am ranting. I'm just saying that this woman, to me, and it took me a very long time to realize that she could be the one that could change this world around. And if you don't think that just because she's a woman, I mean, you're behind the eight ball. You're two 450 years behind the eight ball. Why not just go with the punches and just pick this woman to do the ultimate right thing, damn it, and just get this economy back going? I mean, we got kids to feed. We got bills to pay. And most of you who have government jobs ain't gonna get a check pretty soon. We're in 15 days. I just read it. 15 whole God forsaken days. Let me see if I can read this to you. Where is it? The latest on the Trump administration as government shuts down hits 15 days. 15 days. What we're covering. Congress still deadlocked. The government shutdown is now at its 15 day as the stalemate continues on Capitol Hill. Senate Democrats have now voted 8 times to block Republicans' stopgap bill, and both sides are standing firm on their position. While the Democrats over there are ready to make a deal, everybody else is out partying, which means they did this on purpose. They don't want to make a deal. They don't want to make a deal. They want to make this city suffer. They want to make cities, they want to make states suffer. Otherwise, why are we in this position? I'm going to continue.
This guy's not marching along, alongside BLM protesters in 2020. Bill Barr, as far right as it gets, he called Trump's stolen election claims in 2020 bullshit. He's gone. He's replaced by somebody like Pam Bondi, who is there expressly because she is an election denier. So he's filled his ranks with people who not only aren't going to oppose him, but are there because they will make it easier for him to do the things that he wants to do. And so how much or how little confidence do you have that if he does try to undermine the Constitution, if he does try to install himself for a third term, that there will be people in that broader right-wing orbit who are going to serve as offer themselves up as a bulwark to what he's trying to do?
I don't have any faith in the Republicans. So, I mean, I don't think that that's where it's going to come from. I think we are going to have to rely on the courts, which is also a very scary reality. But the lower courts have actually been doing their job. Whether they've been appointed by Republicans or Democrats, they have been very good on the Constitution.
There were some Trump-appointed judges.
Correct.
I believe Judge
Immergut
in Portland?
the latest issue, yes, in Oregon.
Yeah.
That is a Trump appointee. And so, we've seen as he decided that he was just going to do away with birthright citizenship because that's what presidents can do in his mind. Right? We saw that there were Reagan appointee, everybody, bro, no, this is not happening, right? And so I think that this one is clear. There's no nuance. I actually don't think that's actually the plan. I actually think, if you remember when Zelensky was in the Oval Office, he calls Zelensky a dictator. And he called him a dictator. Forget Putin, child. He ain't got nothing to say about Putin. But anyway, he calls Zelensky a dictator, and he said because he hadn't had any elections here recently. Well, usually when bombs are falling, it's kind of like we don't do elections. So when you see the things that he's done as it relates to the bombing of the boats in international waters, when you see what he's doing in streets, I think that what he actually, and he's talking about things like the Insurrection Act. What I think that he wants to do is he wants to declare that there is such a conflict that we cannot have elections, just like in places of like actual war. And he may actually get us into a war. I'm surprised somebody ain't slapped him yet. But no, seriously, like, because imagine if we had random Americans in international waters that are minding their business, fishing or doing whatever, and a foreign country decided they were just gonna like bomb us out the water. Okay. So if you, because y'all acting real proper, as they would say at the schoolyard, those are fighting words. These are fighting actions, right?
I almost forgot that this whole Israel thing, Donald Trump wants peace in Israel. Now, I don't know much about Israel, but I will tell you this. Whatever he's doing, whatever he did over there, whatever he's trying to do, is not working. It is not working. And making threats, trying to make it work, will not. It doesn't solidify anything. You're just making it worse. If we go to war, ladies and gentlemen, the United States is in trouble. Oh, we got the best military. That's not the point. Why do Americans have to suffer because of this nut job? Impeach his ass. It's bad enough he's declaring war on the United States of America. Well, what's not there? I mean, he's getting into it with governors and senators and anybody who's black. I'm just gonna say it. Anybody who's African American, Mexican American, Hispanic, whatever. He does not like you. I don't care who you are. He does not like you. And I'm surprised Margaret Taylor Greene, oh my, she's even had a change of heart. I don't trust her, but hey, that's just me. She's even had a change of heart. And of course, she uttered the words that, you know, these people are gangsters, right? Because every time you stop something or sue, you're just basically he's a money grabber. He's what you would call, what people would call, Umar, a scam artist. He ain't nothing but a scam artist. He doesn't care about the United States of America. Come on, he doesn't care about if people are on welfare or people on the street or if people need medical attention. Unless he's getting it, he doesn't care. He does not care. And if it is true that his health is declining, if it's true, then vengeance is God's, not his. Just saying.
And he's doing a lot. And because of who the Americans have historically been, we've been given the benefit of the doubt. Like, we're getting a lot more rope than we should have. But it's not because he's not trying. Not to mention something that people aren't talking about a lot. And I actually tell Democrats not to talk about it at all. But here I go. I do. Because we lose. The conflict in the Middle East. Right now, there is a peace deal that's been brokered, right? This peace deal ain't new, y'all. This isn't like, oh, Trump came in, so not, no. And I am someone who has been to the region before. I've sat down with leadership on multiple sides, as well as I've traveled to Qatar. And I can't go into a lot of my conversations about different things, but definitely, even in the midst of the war, I would talk to some folk to try to figure out, well, what's happening, because Qatar was supposed to kind of be mediating every.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Um, Leave a comment in the comment section. Just tell me what you think. Do you think this is going to work? Do you think that Republicans are going to finally come to the table, or they're just going to just milk it and keep milking it for what it is right now? This is going to be it's going to be a scary time for people in good positions, even in the military. It's going to be one of those times. Everybody else, if you don't have a job, your ass out. Your ass out. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Anybody who has WIC, SNAP, you're in unemployment, you're going to get in trouble. You have, I think, approximately 15, maybe 15 more days. You have 15 more days, and then after that, all of this, if nothing is to happen, all of this is going to take effect next year. So I suggest we get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Let's stop half stepping and let's get some progress going. Do what we have to do to convince Jasmine Crockett and or other candidates to do something about this situation. Because right now, there's really little to nothing you can do. But we are the voices. We are the voices of the voiceless. Yeah, I'm telling you.
everything, and I wanted to kind of get a feel. So I say all this to say, this isn't a new agreement. This is an agreement that's been sitting there. What is new is that somehow U.S. troops are going in. Okay? Most people aren't even talking about that part. And if you know anything about Netanyahu, who also has been around for a very long time, he's been trying to get U.S. troops over there into that conflict for a long time. There are people that thought that October 7th was like the beginning of a conflict. I got news for you. You got some studying to do on the region if you believe that that was the beginning of the tensions and the conflict in the Middle East. So I personally believe, and I've met Netanyahu before. He is more intelligent than Trump. I'm going to just put it out there.
Low bar.
I don't know that takes a lot. I really don't. I really don't. I don't.
Left that one hanging there.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Not. But I have seen how Putin has played him like a fiddle. And I personally am a little skeptical, and I personally believe.
Oh, and don't forget Kim Jong. Remember Kim Jong? They was going back and forth on X, and he went over there, and they started shaking hands and drinking like it was 1999. They started balling, playing basketball. Dennis Rodman went up there. They was buddied up. Years later, he talking shit. We don't want to get into any, oh Lord Jesus, we don't want to get into any type of scruffle. We don't. Because it could possibly reach the soil in the United States of America. And if it does, oh boy. But since we have one of the greatest forces in the United States of America and the U.S. Army, and again, that's not the point. That's not the point. And Vladimir Putin, no, Mark, he was friends with him too. But I'm like, Senator Putin doesn't play games. That's what Trump was doing all day with his dumb ass, was over there playing games. Impeach. We got to find a way. Now, I think I know. I think I know a way because I read into it. How we can impeach Donald Trump. We can't arrest him. We can't arrest him because he has broad immunity. Look that up. He has broad immunity, but we can impeach his ass. That's what we can do and get his people up out of there. Because this is going to get worse and worse and worse. You don't believe me? Read your news.
The Netanyahu is playing Trump right now. And so, obviously I'm going to hope and pray for actual peace because the people deserve it. But I am quite skeptical, and I think that this may be another thing that throws us into a chaotic situation as relates to a war-torn kind of status for us. And so I don't believe he's going to run for a third term. I do believe, we've heard, I think it was Steve Bannon who said, we're looking at all the options. It's like, it ain't no options, bro. It ain't none. Right. And so that's kind of where my mind has been.
Well, on that point, he's already trying to give himself a pretext to be able to say that there is more conflict. To be able to deploy troops domestically, you need to satisfy one of three conditions. There needs to be a foreign invasion, there needs to be a rebellion or insurrection, there needs to be a failure of the local government to be able to effectuate federal laws. And so he deploys troops into Los Angeles, claiming that there is a failure of the local government to be able to effectuate its laws. Judge Breyer in California disagrees. Now that's been appealed up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. In Portland, said the same thing, and he's come out very often. And I'm sure that you've heard Trump say that there's an invasion or an insurrection. He keeps using the word insurrection. I think that has two reasons he's doing that. He's trying to devalue the fact that he incited an actual insurrection on January 6th. But second of all, he's trying to make the case in the court of public opinion that he's satisfying that second plank, which is that there is a rebellion or an insurrection, to give himself some legal pretext, legal justification to be able to deploy the troops domestically. Judge Immergut, as we mentioned before, swatted that away. That's a judge who Trump himself appointed, and said that his claims that there was some legal justification were, quote, untethered to reality. Again, this is somebody who he put on the court, saying that he's untethered to reality. Which is great, because at that point, the judge is like, I already got my job.
What? One of these judges in the low courts ever going to have a brain and just say enough is enough? He's losing his mind, literally. Not trying to make fun of the man, but in this case, in this stage, you're doing stupid shit. And then it's bad enough that you're doing stupid shit. You got all these bums out here saying great things about you because they believe that they're going to get something out of it. They ain't going to get shit.
So I don't really need to And then we have Judge Perry in Chicago, who again swatted away Trump's justification to claim that he had satisfied any of those three planks to be able to deploy the troops domestically. And so, as you mentioned, it seems to be working pretty well at the trial court level. Now these cases are bubbling up to the, in California and Portland, bubbling up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. How confident are you as these cases continue to progress? How confident are you as these cases head into other jurisdictions, but also into the appeals court level, that will continue to see the court serve as an effective bulwark against what he's doing? Because, what he's doing right now is trying to lay the foundation for exactly what you're claiming, to say that we're in some huge, dangerous conflict that he can then use down the line as a pretext to be able to say, we couldn't possibly have an election right now with all these insurrections happening across the country.
Yep, that's exactly right. Much like what I experienced when I was practicing law, it depends on what circuit, honey. Some circuits are better than others. They are not made equally. I think that the things that he does are so outlandish that potentially surviving the circuit courts looks good no matter how conservative the circuit court is, because it's just so far out and you have to build a consensus by the time you get to the circuit court. It's not going to be one person. It's that Supreme Court. It's the Supremes that bother me. The fact that he has, I think I was on your page, and I think you were the one that posted this, but the fact that he has this immunity right now, it is only further emboldened him. And I think the idiots around him that are affording him the latitude to do the things.
Told you.
Things that he's doing, because he's not doing it by himself. I think that they somehow believe that they got immunity too. And, there's been a lot of talk about Nixon's AG went to prison. Pam, them bars gonna be calling, girl. The bars gonna be calling. And so, because Mike Johnson don't want to go back in because we got to protect the pedophiles and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not, so I'm here with y'all. So here it is. We're supposed to be in session. And so if any of you had an opportunity to watch Pam Bondi, she was supposed to come to House Judiciary as well, which is my territory. And the gag on this is that when it was announced that she was going to be testifying in front of our committee, one of the Republicans on the committee texted me and said, Pam is coming, so get ready. This is one of the Republicans, right? And then I had to get on to my staff. I'm like, why didn't y'all tell me? They were like, what are you talking about? Like, it was breaking news, and a Republican told me because he wanted me to get ready. But if you noticed what she did try to do, she just decided to be evasive because she was about to lie under oath, something that they just charged somebody else for. She was about to lie to Congress.
That would be cash.
And so it is really disturbing to see that, but I don't know that we will get what we need out of the Supreme Court. I appreciate that our trial court judges, no matter how far right they may be, they seemingly are doing their best to still stay tethered to the Constitution itself. These are people that have lifetime appointments, but the difference between a Supreme Court justice and every other judge in this country, whether you're talking about a federal judge or whether you're talking about a state judge or even a city judge, is that they all have some form of ethics that can bite them in their ass. Unfortunately, we don't have that when it comes to the 9 most important and most powerful judges in our country. And so now that Trump has exposed all of these problems and loopholes within our democracy, I do think that it is going to be important that we fortify in all ways, in all branches, and we absolutely have to start by making sure that there is some rule of ethics that our Supreme Court justices have to abide by, because right now, just like the Department of Justice has been turned into his personal law firm or his personal retribution firm, whichever you want to call it, that's what I feel like we're missing with the Supreme Court, is we don't know who's putting money into their pockets.
Nope.
We do know that they are taking money though. We have figured that part out, right? So we don't know who all is doing what and pulling what strings. And frankly, I don't believe whether you're Democrat, Republican, or independent, their approval rating is some of the lowest that it's been in the history of this country, because some of these opinions are so far out that they literally don't make sense. And so I never know when I can rely on the Supreme Court to just follow the basics.
Let's just put it where it is. He tells lies. He told a lie after another lie after another lie after another lie. But yet the six Supreme, or five, is I think it's five. I'll just say six. Six of the Supreme Court justices granted him broad immunity. So, adding with that, he's getting money from the banks, insurance. He's getting money from this war. He got money kicking. Well, he got an endorsement. We all know where he got an endorsement from. And plus the bullshit that's happening overseas. So all that is totally up to a ridiculous, damn near $14 trillion. $14 trillion off of the havoc and off of the chaos which Donald Trump imploded while being in office. Jesus, I even lost count. January, February, March, April. Wait, where are we right now? We're in October. Regardless of how long he's been in office, regardless of how long, he grifted. This man has grifted through nonsensical bullshit out there, and people are eating it up like candy. Oh, there's a war out there. There's a war out there in Chicago. We got to keep these streets safe from the criminals. What criminals are you talking about? Anybody can become a fucking criminal. What are you talking about? There's an insurrection in New York. There's an insurrection in LA. We got to get the illegals out. We got to go to Portland. We got to go here. We got to go there. I'm surprised he didn't come to Las Vegas. But then again, I might be lying. I might be lying to myself that he's not going to come to Las Vegas. He doesn't have the balls to come to Las Vegas. But wait. That train has never been late. If he can go to New York, if he can cause havoc in New York, if he could send deployed troops to Chicago, to Portland, to LA, what makes you think he won't send troops to Nevada or Washington State? He's sending troops wherever the case may be to stop a war on what? We don't know, because we're trying to look for who started what. It's nothing. It's an illusion. He's getting paid off of this stuff. Do you not understand? He's getting paid off of this stuff while me and you suffer. I hope you conservatives are happy. I hope you really are.
And so I think the circuit courts they'll do what they need to do on these very clear situations. But as we talk about him not being tethered to reality, he just had his annual checkup. Right. But it
If I'm not
it
mistaken,
wasn't
it was 6'4", 250 pounds, 4.8% body fat, and it was weird. They wrote on, which I hadn't seen before.
I can't. But it's interesting.
Squat was 260. deadlift 555. Very impressive.
But this, I mean, I don't know how many annuals he gonna have in 1 year. Is my question, basic stuff right there. So the thing is though, I have a number of friends that are medical doctors. Like friends, like people that I've known my entire life. And so like one of my childhood friends, she always sick, emergency medicine doctor. And so she's like, I'm telling you, he's hypertensive. He's like she goes on this rant of he needs to put.
Wait, Brian, who? Hey, watch it now. Watch it. Because this body is breaking down. So it's a sidebar. It's all about the mindset, trying to get the mind to not go in that direction when it comes to eating. You just got to eat smart, I guess. But, that's just me. But as far as Trump is concerned, you're 6'4", and your stomach ain't looking too good. I can't talk, but I'm not 80 years old. I'm 45. I got a chance. You, my guy? Oh, yeah. Yes, Lord. Yes. Oh, yes, Lord. Oh, yes, Lord. Your fat ass need to be in a sauna or in a whirlpool or something. Or in a piranha pool.
The McDonald's down or pick it up. But I just want people to be happy. Just be happy. McDonald's.
If we really want to reach out, if we really want to make a difference, if we really want to watch the channel grow, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And please, if you would like, become a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel as we continue to promote Jasmine Crockett for President of the United States of America. I hope she gets that, and I really hope she does run.
Happy Meal. I just want him to be happy. So, I'm like, okay, so this Cankle situation, so I'm asking, right? And I was asking about the head it may be for the president, because I just want the American people to know.
Looking for a prognosis.
Yeah, I want to know for real. Like he's bad off. And so I've had multiple friends of mine that are doctors that are like, we believe he's had some sort of heart situation. He's had a heart attack, or wholeheartedly that he's absolutely had a stroke. So they've
Lisa, you put if you say it, do not say it. Do not say it. Don't say it.
talked about this thing like drop foot. So I'm like Googling what is drop foot. Like I'm like, you know, they're telling me all these things. They're talking about his face. They're telling me there's all these things, right? That I know nothing about. I'm just like, something wrong with him mentally, y'all. And I mean, as a criminal defense attorney, that's the one thing we're supposed to be able to do. Like, when everyone who faces a situation, they got to be competent. So as lawyers, we are not necessarily required to diagnose them, but literally it can be malpractice if you see somebody and it's the signs. I'm telling y'all, he got the signs. And so I'm like, all right, so mentally and physically, he is unwell. So when they announced that he was going back to Walter Reed, I was like, well, that's weird. Because they were like, he's going for his annual. I was like, did y'all also forget? Y'all got the dementia too?
I told you not to say it. But anyway, I didn't know he had a heart. Well, allegedly had a heart. Well, anything can get you in that heart attack or a stroke. Anything can get you that. Bad food, stress, diet. I mean, anything can get you a stroke. Even a mini stroke is just as terrible, because you feel pain not only on your left side, but you feel pain in your toes as well. So I don't stress that type of pain to anyone. I might be wrong for saying this. Please forgive me. He just needs to take his ass out of office. He has no business. You know, again, he converted himself down to a small child. He's stubborn, selfish, irresponsible. He's all these things all in one. But the mere thing that can slow him, the only thing that can slow him down would be a heart attack. And again, I'm not putting depressions or aspersions on anybody or anyone. But he did this to himself. He literally did this to himself by hurting the American people. Lying, scheming, scamming, all that stuff. And all that stuff comes back to hit you. I mean, he made fun of who was it, Joe Biden? Joe Biden when it was time for him to settle his ass down. But hey, what goes around comes around. That energy is crazy.
Because it wasn't that long ago. Because that's when he was like basically saying he was Barack Obama. Yeah. And so y'all know Barack is fit. So I was like, okay, this is our time to drop our investigative letter, because we had been working on it. But when you're trying to break through the media cycle and all, you got to be very thoughtful about when you put certain stuff out. So I was like, oh, we're going. And so we took all these incidents, and my staffer, I'm like, dude, this letter is getting way too long. I mean, it was like he's falling asleep. He forgets that he appointed Jerome Powell. We would have added January 6th if we had dropped, he forgot he was president on January 6th. The rest of the world did not. So there is something happening, and this is based on what actual medical professionals have told me, mentally as well as physically.
How many of you think that there is something wrong with Trump? How many of you think there's absolutely, positively, no joking, something is very, very wrong with Trump? Physically, or how should I say, medically?
And then after they put out their report of his most recent physical, it has only led those on the medicinal side to think for sure that he had a stroke. And so there are some that are believing that it may have taken place when he went MIA, because he never goes away, y'all, never. But when he went MIA, and then all the theories started popping up, and it's like, is he alive? What's happening? Because there was nothing, right? There are people that are theorizing, because I think within 4 to 6 weeks of one of these incidents, you have to go in and you have to get imaging and things like that, which is something they can't do at the White House, which would require them to get him over to Walter Reed. So we are asking the serious probing questions, because mental as well as physical fitness are things that the American people are supposed to be made aware of when you are serving at the helm. So as much as I make fun of cankles, it is very serious, and we need to know.
4 minute 15-second mile, I think was another one.
Ouch. Hey, Sal, don't talk like that. This is the president of the United States. Shame, shame, shame. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
On there. Bicep curls, 60-pound dumbbells in each hand. I don't know. Look, it's just, it's who among us hasn't had 7 annual physicals this year?
None of us can afford it, but go ahead.
All right, we're gonna go a few minutes of this, and we're gonna switch to what transpired last night. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's about, I would say, 50-some degrees out. It started raining, and I'm making excuses. I'm just going to shut up and play the dog all day.
You know, the big cynic in me is like, these are the motherfuckers that live to like 110. It's always the good ones that are like, you know,
the good ones die young.
Everybody's say a prayer for Dolly Parton, but meanwhile,
Dolly says she fine.
I know. Dolly's sister's out there. Dolly had like a kidney stone. Dolly's sister's like, say a prayer for Dolly. Things are getting grim. And Dolly's like, God damn it! Now I have to go up there.
She goes, I'm not there yet.
So with all of that said, I wanna kind of switch gears a little bit here.
While y'all switching gears, I am going to switch gears a little bit because we can probably make this a part 2. We could possibly make this a part 2 because I see something very, very, very special coming down the pipe. And oh, by the way, I'm gonna be coming out with the shirt pretty soon. She's got the shirt, she's got the hoodie, they pretty much have everything. And I thought I was gonna be the one to actually say, I'm gonna actually do it. I'm gonna actually put it on the t-shirt. Jasmine Crockett for president 2028. Somebody beat me to it. So either way, I'm still gonna support, and you'll see me and not just that. Call your congressman. Call your legislators, call your senators. Just call but be careful, because again, you got Republicans as well as Democrats. So just be careful who you talk to. Research first who's in your district. Research. I know it because somebody in this chat got me researching. Got me researching, reading, researching and reading, researching and reading. Yes. You. It's you. I ain't mentioning no names. I'm not mentioning your names at all. But let's go back to this. Oh, wait. Did I? Wait a minute. Okay. It's right here. Let's see here. Ongoing impact. I'm still reading CNN politicals. Ongoing impacts. In the midst of federal layoffs, Trump warns yesterday his administration is using the shutdown to permanently end federal programs championed by Democrats. Why do y'all why is it happens each and every single freaking year? Every single 4 years, excuse me, Republicans blame Democrats. Democrats blame Republicans. Y'all both getting federally fucked, okay? Y'all both are getting federally fucked up the ass with no Vaseline. Let's see. This comes as he said that his administration had identified funds to pay military troops who have been ex who have been excited or expected to miss their first paychecks today. I told you. 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 Missed their first paychecks today. The president is set. The president is set to seek reports. Report is supposed to be report this after in a press event with FBI Director Kash Patel. And of course, CNN town hall. Progressive lawmakers, Senator Bernie Sanders and Representative AOC will flee questions tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time from those who have been directly impacted by the shutdown. So we're into this, of course. If you can see, we are impacted. We're in 14 days, 12 hours, 13 minutes, and 41 seconds. We have approximately 13 more days. 13 more days to the count, probably 14 more days before they make a decision. If they don't make a decision, everything's going in effect automatically next year. Everything's going in automatically effect. Your premiums are going to go up. Everything's going to go up. Mostly healthcare. This is wild, yo. This is wild. Okay, Lisa, you can go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Just go ahead and pat yourself on the back there. You think, see, you really think you all that. You really think you all that. Lisa thinks she all that. Whatever. This came up on my feed today. This shit came up on my feed today. And I believe it's all about the whole Gonza thing. Let me see. Pandestic, whatever. Does Trump deserve Peace Prize? Nobel Peace Prize. Plus, Piers Morgan destroys Democrats in trans row.
I mean, it's always good when war ends. It's good when conflict ends. It's good when hostages are brought home. I think regardless of how that came about, I think it's always a good thing to celebrate.
What's the downside for you?
Well, I mean, it depends on what part we're talking about. I think that, you know, if you're looking for some kind of comprehensive peace between Israel and Palestine, this deal doesn't even come close to it. Remember, this is the second time the president has told us there will be peace in the Middle East. The first time it didn't work. So, yeah, Trump is really good at putting together these plans that are not plans at all. They're just like backbones of plans.
But when you say it didn't work, the Abraham Accords, I mean, it stood with the countries that signed up to the Abraham Accords. They have a good working relationship with Israel. As a consequence of that, Saudi Arabia has indicated would like to join them, but it can't when this war was raging, understandably. They're looking to expand the Abraham Accords. The amount of unity from Arab countries and Muslim countries like Turkey to this peace plan has been pretty unanimous in the region. So I'm not quite sure if this plan is unworkable, what would have been a better plan?
I mean, anything that actually leads to a long-term permanent solution between Israel and Palestine. I mean, when you say the Abraham Accords worked, I mean, that's because they were involving countries that weren't really fighting with each other. I think that a lot of the Israeli peace process with other Arab states is just trying to extricate Palestine from any overall peace arrangement with any other country. The Abraham Accords did that. They kicked can down the road. October 7th happened. It was just like the second intifada after the failures of Oslo 1 and 2, and now we're getting a deal looks like an Oslo 3 peace framework where it's a bunch of vague stuff. Nobody really knows what it means.
Just in case you don't know who these people are, I know very few except for Destiny, which is on the lower left, Officer Tantrum on the mid-upper corner, and of course, Morgan Pierce's redneck British ass on the left. The rest of these people, I don't know who they are.
And basically Israel has like infinite reign to kind of like play with it how they want. Like, what does it mean to de-radicalize the Palestinian Authority or de-radicalize the Gaza Strip? Who knows?
Emily Austin, I felt a lot of joy seeing the hostages after 2 years of utter unrelenting hell finally being released, 20 of them back to their families, and the scenes with the reunion with their families, incredibly moving. I defy anyone with a heart to not be moved by it. And I also found the scenes of jubilation amongst the Palestinians and seeing families returning, albeit back to their bombarded homes, with at least the hope now of being able to rebuild their lives, hopefully. All of that I found very euphoric. I have to say, I did blush, not at Donald Trump being celebrated in the Knesset, but by the kind of mass adulation for Netanyahu, because I don't think he showered himself in any glory this year. Explain why you think I'm wrong.
Well, honestly, I always say my fight as an American Jew is to make sure that Israel and Jews are safe and there's not all this false information going around in America. But needless to say, Israel is very torn between supporting Netanyahu or not. There's a joke that Israelis support Trump more than they support their own prime minister, which right now definitely feels that way in Israel. I will add, I don't think Netanyahu gets any credit when he does something right at all. I think whether it's something as precise as the beeper attack, he'll never get the pat on the back for doing things the right way. When it's his involvement in signing the agreement, and it's Hamas who wasn't signing it, Bibi will always take the hits for that. Now, whether you like him or not, I just feel like you need to give credit where it's due.
But I think, to be honest, I thought Emily, he did get a lot of credit for the Hezbollah pager attack. That was widely seen.
I would like to have thought so, but I would
just to finish that point, I would say that he was widely credited with having launched a very precise, very carefully planned, expertly executed dismantling of Hezbollah using pages that did not lead to mass civilian casualties. Similarly, I thought the attack on Iran, which many people thought would be catastrophic and launch World War III and so on, actually turned out to be a short-lived war, which was very precise again in its targeting, and again did not involve mass civilian casualties. The problem comes with the way he has prosecuted the war in Gaza, which has been to do none of those things, to be not remotely surgical, but to be, in many people's eyes, utterly indiscriminate, leveling 80% of Gaza to the point of total destruction, killing 70,000 people, including many tens of thousands of civilians, including over 20,000 kids. It seems to be a completely different way of waging war against your enemy to the way that he has rightly, in my opinion, got due credit for the way he dealt with Iran and Hezbollah. What have happened? It was that you can dig in and find the fact, risk assessment, but they're changing very, very fast.
We have to be pushing our side.
In here, there's been an interesting split in Trump's.
They slaughtered all these people. They took
in here. There's been an
I just wanted to get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Interesting split in Trump's support.
Here's Officer Tantrum.
Base, it seems to me the MAGA base is increasingly anti-Israel. We see
Leader
that
of
with
the Republicans.
Carlson, with Candace Owens,
Leader
and
of
others.
the Coon Squad.
Others are very much pro-Israel, but there's a real split there. What's that about?
Well, let me correct you on that. I don't think it's anti-Israel. A lot of it's anti-Semitic. I mean, people are losing their minds. And I almost had a stroke listening to the capitulation to the foolery in Gaza and Israel. Israel don't owe them anything. Why are we confused about this? They came over and they slaughtered all these people. They took people hostage. They don't owe them nothing. They could starve them to death if they wanted to. That's their decision, in my personal opinion, because they're reasonable. They send out leaflets and the lies about the media. They don't allow journalists in. Where's all this propaganda coming from?
They don't allow them
I see videos of kids. I see buildings coming down. Where's all this coming from?
They don't allow it. Look.
Well, listen, but it's a real
reason. It is actually a fact they don't allow journalists in.
No, but
unless you are a friendly journalist embedded with the IDF, you're not allowed in.
It's inconsequential. Because
it's not though, is it? Because how do we know the truth?
I believe it's inconsequential. You know the truth. You see the propaganda coming out of Gaza. You see, and then journalists get killed and people are complaining.
Propaganda is not true.
And people complain.
I see propaganda on all sides, and in my experience of propaganda in war, the only way.
What is the truth?
But hang on, Brandon.
Find out.
The only way to counter propaganda from all sides in a war, because it comes from all sides, the only way is to allow independent journalists to do their jobs.
They don't do their job in America. So they lie every day in America. So I don't really care about that. At the end of the day, we'll see. Now that the war is over,
let's talk about people getting $7,000 a post.
Let me finish, young lady. Let me finish. And I will give you a chance to speak. Let me finish, young lady, please.
Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Full Stories and many.
And so what I'm saying is that I think it's inconsequential. I think people are jumping out. They don't have to feed these people. They could have starved them to death if they wanted to, but they didn't.
That would be a war crime.
They were kept. You could say it's a war crime anyway. Who cares?
I'm not saying
they
it.
Came
It
over
would
there
be
and
a
killed all
war
these
crime.
innocent people in Israel.
Yeah, but Brandon, it would be a war crime.
You can say it doesn't matter. They killed all these people.
It does matter.
Hamas is embedding. Hamas is embedding themselves in the population.
Yeah, Hamas are disgusting. Hamas are disgusting, and they commit endless war crimes. But
what do you expect them to do, Pierce?
Yeah, but
how do you fight a war?
I'm sorry,
people.
Sorry, but there are international rules relating to warfare. And if Israel breaks them, they are responsible.
I don't have the patience. Nah, don't have the patience at all. I would literally lose my shit. I would literally lose my mind because of the people he has on there. I mean, the way he did, the way they, not he alone, but what they did when the brother, I can't even think of the brother's name. He's crossed my mind dozens of times, but I can't even pronounce his name. I can't even say his name. I'll think of his name in a minute. I was thinking his name in a minute. As a matter of fact, it ain't gonna take me no time. Let me see, who was the counts? Who played the councils? Oh wait, I spelled counselor wrong. Okay, who played the counselors for the Matrix? I'll have to figure who played for the Matrix. Let's see. Or the Matrix Reload. Matrix Reloaded. Who played the counselor? No, not Lawrence Fishburne. Not Lawrence Fishburne. I'm trying to think. He's running for he tried to run for president. He tried to run for president. He's an old guy. He tried to run for president. Who is this? I had him in my head. I had him in my freaking head and I lost it. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I thought it'll snap it as soon as I play this video.
As Hamas or anybody else?
Who commit war crime? Did
When he launched his global tariff war, the stock market collapsed.
In the
And now-
long term,
but now, having been promised Armageddon within 6 months, we've got to the point of 6 months, and the stock markets are higher than they were before he launched the tariff.
It's not as high as it should be, but the stock market will tend upwards. That's how the stock market works.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It takes time. You know, like Donald Trump is making an effort to do this, and it takes time to come to fruition. I hope that you will be cheering for it to come to fruition and that Donald Trump is going to realize some of these things that he's put into place. Some of these negotiations will go through in a better way. Don't you wish that, Destiny? I think we all want that. Right?
I don't know what anybody wants. We're talking about giving the Nobel Peace Prize, hopefully, to a guy who is declaring war on his own cities. I mean, I don't know what the actual goal is for anything.
You know how ridiculous that is?
I do. I agree. It is ridiculous. I'm glad we can agree on that.
You know
for
what's
him saying he's going to go to war with Chicago is a ridiculous thing.
I was watching Don Lemon. I was watching the citizen journalist Don Lemon out with his microphone, and he was talking to people in various cities about putting the National Guard on the streets. And you know what they all said, to his astonishment? They were all in favor of it.
I would be too if my city was overrun by crime and gangs and shootings and stabbings and murders.
If you feel the police is under-resourced and ineffective and is not protecting you, then I think people actually have rather liked the visibility of members of the National Guard on the streets. And, you know, people can call it the militarization, the creeping fascism, all these things, or they could actually ask the people that live in those places, how do you feel about having some National Guard people on the streets? They actually feel comforted by the visibility of National Guard on their streets. So maybe Trump...
Cornel West. How they did Cornel West on this show, I'd have lost it. I mean, how they treated him, it was just, you know, he's not Destiny. He's not even the amazing Lucas, which we got to talk, by the way, bro. He's not the amazing Lucas. He can't go tick for tack all the time with these people because these people are ruthless. These people are ruthless. And so it's like, maybe Dr. Umar would go up on there, but he refused to go up on that show because of how they set shit up. So no, I wouldn't be right for that.
Don't like law enforcement or criminals. That's the reality.
Right. These are just politicians that are running their mouth. Just like Black Lives Matter when they want to defund the police. You ask people that live in the hood, they love the police. They want the police there. They get sick of their kids getting shot in the middle of the street. So most people, go to Chicago. I mean, go to D.C. Remember they were protesting D.C.? A bunch of white people. You know, the majority of D.C. population is black. None of the black people
wrong
were out there protesting. It's a bunch of leftist nut jobs and politicians who are pushing this agenda. Most people want to be safe. The property value goes up when it's safe. Stores come into the community. The economy is boosted. Your schools are better. No person on earth want crime to be rampant in their cities. Okay. And when their politicians do nothing, then Trump has to step in.
All right, let me give the last word to Nadine. How do you see things in the next 2-3 years in Gaza, in the West Bank, in that region?
Trash.
You know, I think Trump addressing the Knesset today just proves how absurd this whole conversation is. He bragged about moving the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem. He rewarded Israel's illegal annexation. He praised Miriam Edelson while also calling her Israel first.
But he also went to Egypt after the Knesset. He also went to Egypt. So, you know, yes, he was at the Knesset. Yes, he got celebrated for getting the hostages released. That's inevitable. But he also then went to Egypt immediately. Right. So, you know, I look at the totality of what Trump has done on this very quick visit, and he's going to both sides. He understands you only get to peace by talking and sitting down and doing deals with all warring partners. It's the only way you do it.
I mean, you know, what we've seen is the Palestinian resistance today are the orphans of the past Israeli incursions on Gaza, on the West Bank. The number of Hamas militants, just like, you know, the pro-Israel commentators here said, hasn't actually decreased since October 2023. It's just about stayed the same. So I think as long as you think that you can't bomb people into peace, you can't bomb people into submission, and Palestinians will continue to resist no matter what, because they are facing a genocidal baby-killing machine that is built on the blood of our people, that's built on the blood
and they're going to keep getting their butts kicked.
My village in Palestine was annexed 3 weeks ago. Not a single establishment or legacy media outlet has covered it. Befixa was annexed. You can search this up. And as long as we continue to be dispossessed through our lands, denied the right of return, and slaughtered mercilessly, whether in Gaza, whether in the West Bank, or even 48 citizens, Palestinian citizens of Israel, Palestinians are only going to continue to fight that.
And they're going to keep getting their butts whooped.
Human nature. That is just human nature.
All right, we will see.
I'm sorry, before we go, Chris, I want to remind you that you had Nardine and I on right after October 7th.
I remember, yeah.
Off the bat, you asked her, do you condemn October 7th? She said no. She hardly condemned 9/11. Now that we're seeing each other again face to face, Nardine,
I was in second grade when 9/11 happened. You are a pro-Israel hack.
You have nothing going for
you. $7,000. Larry Ellison can buy TikTok.
Nardine,
they can
you
buy
are not
PBS.
pro-Palestine.
The
You are
images of the
pro-Hamas.
burned
Because when Hamas is slaughtering when Hamas is slaughtering all the Gazans right now, you're silent. Hamas is killing Palestinians right now, and you are silent because you're not pro-Palestine.
Okay, well, can I just say it's good to see the time. It's good.
Go burn things in
Time
Manhattan.
out. It is good to see that you two have moved on with your relationship since you last appeared on the panel together, and that there is a new.
Wow. Talk about tension. Jesus. Man. That was no. But like I said, no, I wouldn't even belong in any one stage because I don't have the temperament. I don't have the temperament for bullshit. This is what it is. You can ask me like a very short question. I will give you a very short answer, and then after that, on to the next. We can talk about relationships. We can talk about anything you want, just as long as it's short. Because look, you're getting half of this stuff off the internet anyway. AI has completely ruined everything, including relationships. Although I will say that AI has giving. Let me put it this way. AI has worked for some good, and AI has also worked for some bad. But when it comes to relationships, AI has completely ruined everything in that dynamic. Everything. Because everybody wants to look up everything. It was, let me look up this. Facts. Facts over feelings. You letting facts cloud your judgment. You're letting facts get the best of you. And this is the reason why your needle has not even moved. I feel so sad for Black America. Y'all better tighten up. Well, I'm gonna let's see. I gotta finish up this here. I don't know where I was until we were rudely interrupted.
So you let's just go ahead and do it. People wanted people that were honest. A lot of people are suspicious. Food desert is there. The same lack of transportation to get a job on the other side of town is changing. But at the time when you meet people and they don't see anything moving for us, they're not getting out to vote.
Yep.
Right?
I want to change something that you said. Corruption is on full display.
Yes.
But I will say that transparency is absolutely not when you get a bad number on the jobs and you decide, you know what, never mind, let me just fire the person that released the numbers. Not when you have a DOJ website that ends up deleting these FBI statistics around who it is that is committing this violent crime. Like, they are not being transparent whatsoever. The fact that this administration has engaged in, and I'm not even gonna say the administration, this president himself has engaged in somehow putting a lot of money in his pocket, and we don't fully understand how. We don't know where he is engaged in business dealings. We don't have full disclosure on his cryptocurrency. Like, it is the absolute opposite of transparency, but the corruption is on full display. He has decided that he wants seats. He wants to take those seats at a cost to people of color having real representation, people of color that will potentially lay out and fight for that person that has lost the hope, right? I have a lot of people like that in my district where I have one of the highest incarceration rates in the entire state of Texas, but I also have one of the highest poverty rates in the state of Texas as well. And so, yeah, there are people that it doesn't matter if the Democrats are in control or the Republicans are in control, nothing ever happens for them. Yeah. And those are the people that say, well, what's the difference? Both parties are the same.
Well, what is the difference? What is the difference?
So,
why are you, Jasmine Crockett, a Democrat?
Well,
no, seriously, what is the difference? Why are you a Democrat?
Now you asking me an existential question.
No, yeah.
What people need to understand is that there is no perfect party, right? And it's a matter of which one do you more align with. I align with this idea that we don't grow from the top down, but that we grow from the bottom up, and that everybody in this country is supposed to have an opportunity. And what does opportunity look like? Well, what did I say the key to freedom was? It is education. Whatever that education looks like. Again, not someone that says you got to go and get a 4-year degree and be bogged down with it. Right? It can be a trade. It can be all the things, right? But like, it is education in my mind that can move you forward. And what makes us so different and so unique in this country is that it's supposed to be no matter where you came from, no matter what your background is, you can too become the richest person in the world. That is what we are supposed to be able to have. And there are certain people decided that there will not be an American dream, but nothing but American nightmares for certain groups of people. And so I don't side with that. I side with this idea of opportunity, whether that looks like you just have this vision of this business that you want to start. How do you access capital, right? Or whether it is recognizing the harm to, say, Black folk. Like, I am believing in real freedom and liberation for all people.
Yeah, you do. But it's not the same with everybody else, is it? I mean, let's keep it 100. How many times have we've gone out of our apartments, houses, townhouses, whatever, and you seen on the job, whether it be, it's a lot of construction going on, especially in my city. A lot of construction, you see nothing. You don't see you. You see a lot of Hispanics and a lot of whites, and very few blacks. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. How do I know? Because I was a carpenter. And you drive around and you're soliciting yourself, and they would rather take an old flame of theirs, right, than to take me under their wing and teach me stuff. That's what they would rather do. I mean, they would rather me pick up scraps up off the ground. Just pick up scraps and put them over there somewhere. Or you want me to rather just move furniture for a low wage? It's like, this is not what I came for. But I sucked it up, and I went out and I did my thing, and it didn't work out. Because of the simple fact that you don't want to hire people of different minority. You just don't. You got a nice house. You got a nice car. I want a nice house and a nice car. I want to be in the competitive range. I want to be competitive. It has nothing. It shouldn't be that damn difficult. But a lot of things are difficult for the simple fact is they do not want you going above and beyond your destiny, especially when you have kids.
And so, Paul me a little green or a little too optimistic, but I believe in the American.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, sis. What I want you to, what we should do is, again, we need more than this a day, or Saturdays and Sundays. We need more than this a day. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, the shorts help, but we need people on the live stream so we can express how we feel. So if you feel so kindly, is to spread the word and say, We-On-Loc wants to spread the word to the people who are voting or believe that Jasmine Crockett should get 2028 President of the United States election. We need to be that voice. We need to be voice after voice after voice after voice, no matter where you are, on YouTube, on Rumble, on Instagram, on TikTok. The word needs to be spread, and the word needs to spread rapidly. The word needs to spread rapidly. I gotta go and deal with this deal. All right, Lisa, do what you do. Do what you do. And we're gonna move forward.
Not like my people, but other people decide that they will risk their lives to come over here because there is an opportunity here for them and their family. I believe in that, like, wholeheartedly. I believe that it shouldn't be a matter of Nepo babies like the ones sitting in the White House are the only ones that have opportunities because somebody is giving you everything. You've got everything given to you and you still can't pronounce names of things that you want to sit up here and tell everybody they can't use because it's gonna hurt. They want to call me everything but a child of God, and they looking at this bumbling fool who can't pronounce acetaminophen.
He can't.
Like,
he was on the struggle.
And
He's
the
on
fact,
the struggle bus.
And the fact that your staff, they know you stupid. So why your staff didn't say, now, sir, now this word, they know they needed to spell it out phonetically for him to help him out, or they should have just told him stick to Tylenol.
This is why we got to fund. This is why we got to fund the schools. So I want to talk about two more things before we let you out of here. But I've heard people suggest
you control everything. So if the government shuts down, it's on y'all. Just like the last government shutdowns we had were under this same president. In fact, the longest that we've ever had in the history of this country came at the feet of this president. I don't know why so many people had amnesia when they decided to go out and vote for this again, but we knew we were going to get more chaos and dysfunction. So no, you in control, do what you do, big boy. Let's see what happens. And so, I cast my no vote because ain't nobody come at me and ask me what the people in my district need. Right. They didn't ask me what would look good for those in South Dallas. Right. They didn't ask me about that. So listen, I got people that I serve that are counting on me to do their work and to be their voice and not work for him. I don't work for him. He can't hire me. He can't fire me. That elected me in Texas 30 did. So unless you want to have a conversation with me about the priorities for the people in my district, baby, you're not getting this vote. Listen, he can do whatever he wants to do, but this on the Republicans, I need people to learn who controls what. Maybe put the Democrats back in control. Now, I know people got beef with the Democrats not being as aggressive as we should have been, especially since we got him over here just running ramshot over everything. But at a very minimum, you can always count.
And see, this is the reason why I say we need to pick somebody that's aggressive. We need to pick somebody that's motivated to doing the right thing by our people. Not just, everybody included, but for us as well. Right now, these conservatives are sitting back in their chairs with a martini in their hand, looking at CNN, Fox News, or whatever have you, and chalking it up and saying, it's like, this is moral victory. What's moral victory? Nigga, you know they can come after you too? Yeah, can you imagine? Yes, can you imagine sipping champagne? And you know what? I'm just gonna go to play this, and I know Lisa, if she's still here, she's not gonna like it, but I'm gonna play it anyway. But she's not gonna like it. But I have to play this, and I have to play this to let you guys know, because I tried to let the other person know, and well, it just went all the way left. But time moves on. So on this, we get. Let me see. We get this person, and let me see if there's some attorney. One of the lawyers network. That's not it. Oh, it is it. No, is it? I was right on the money. I will bet you later. Oh my God. Okay. Well, hold on to your hats. Hold on to your hats. I have something special. I have something special that I want to put on it. If you've been here for the first time and you did not see this, now is the time to look at it.
Started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book or Nationwide Injunctions. A question has arisen that I want to address in this video. And that question is whether or not Trump can deport Black Americans, African Americans.
Listen close, people.
Especially those whose ancestors were enslaved in this country. What many people call foundational Black Americans. And the answer is yes, he certainly can. This case made it much easier. This case gave Trump the tool to do just that. Despite him saying, I heard him say it with my own ears recently, the day after the case came down, or maybe even the same day, that the 14th Amendment was added for the babies of slaves. Well, that is true. However, the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment does not apply just to the descendants of enslaved people. That is not the way it is written. It actually says all persons. So it's not written that way. It's not interpreted that way, and it's not applied that way. All right, so keep that in mind. It's really important. And I believe Trump is saying that so that he can divide the Black and brown community, to say this is not, birthright citizenship is not for you. Basically, it's for Blacks. And you're trying to take something you're trying to take something from them. I think that is intended to pit us against each other. And I also think that he's saying that to deceive Blacks into believing that he is for us, when clearly he is not for us.
Never has, never will. He offered Black America a way out. And that way out, he was going to get accredited for having to deal with and help out Black Americans with the same formula, the same 500 pages, or however it was, how many or what it was, by Ice Cube. Shouts out to Cube. He basically stole that formula and gave it to Black folks. What are you going to do for Black Americans? Now, neither Donald Trump or Joe Biden ever said anything, right? They didn't say nothing. They said, vote for me and we'll talk about it. Now, I don't want to vote for you, but I want you to do something right now. And it just goes to show you that you can't trust no one. Now, with Jasmine Crockett being in the same position, mind you, if she were in the same position, and let's just say she was going up against Trump, would she kowtow to the same sentiment, or would she take the time to at least read a couple of pages and ask, okay, what is it that you actually want? Would she take the time to even give our people hope, some type of hope, or would she give us hell? This is really what people don't need to be trusted.
All right. But let's get back to nationwide injunctions, because when the U.S. Supreme Court got rid of nationwide injunctions, that basically gave Trump free rein to do just about anything he wants to do, including deporting American citizens, not just Black Americans. And the basic reason why is because no judge can stop him, not with respect to the entire country. A judge can stop someone who files lawsuit against Trump. But think about it. If Trump snatch up, say, 100 African Americans and deport them to Sudan or Libya or Nicaragua or El Salvador or wherever, those people are gone. They're out of the country.
Yep.
They're God knows wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say one of their family members file a lawsuit on their behalf. And let's say they successfully get an injunction from the judge. Well, it used to be, before this case, that the judge could say, basically, you got to return all 100 of these African Americans because you unlawfully deported them. But now, with this case, the judge could only say you got to bring that one person back. And the other 99, although it's unlawful, he cannot prohibit that unless they do a class action lawsuit. And class action lawsuits can take months, if not years, to get certified. So those other 99 African American people could be over there lingering, rotten in some jail or whatever. Why?
Okay. So what do you think? I know. It's just this person talking. But think about it, ladies and gentlemen. What if it were true? Now, he doesn't have the power. He has the power to do it, but is it lawful? No. But by his standards, he is the law. See what I mean? Don't think just because he did away with thousands and thousands of immigrants, excuse me, don't think he won't deport your black ass too if he really, really wanted to. But then again, who would you have to do all the dirty work for you if you actually did it? So I was just showing you. But if you really want to get serious about this, and of course, like I said, she went live last night. I suggest you check it out. She was going over the same old stuff about the shutdown and blah 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 blah. But I just want to tell y'all thank you for the 3,000 subscribership. Thank you. Hopefully, I can reach maybe 4,000 or 5,000. It really doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is, small YouTuber like myself have reached greater heights in a matter of weeks. And I just want to tell you, Thank you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I would not be here. But I mean, this has got to get a little bit better. But on the strength, I love you guys. I respect you. Go ahead and support We-On-Loc Nation channel. That would be this right here. We-On-Loc Nation. It's Jasmine Crockett, who's president of the United States. And and don't forget to become a member. Become a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. And I say with that, we are gone. But before we get out of here, you know, of course, we got to play the theme song.
E for days, E production.